Take a deep breath. Matt gets really excited.
I love this stuff, dude. This is a blast. Thanks so much for coming,
Dude,
man.
thanks for having me.
Is it raining outside yet?
It just started when I came up, when I pulled up.
There's going to be a pile of people coming in shortly.
Just come on in and stay dry.
Yep. Let's tell
All
everybody.
right, we're live now.
Hey, now
Again,
we're live.
We're back.
Do we want to introduce everyone as TRS Live or just, hey, we're
live.
just did, didn't we? Because we're live?
We are live.
Wait a minute, Brian. Cody and I want to know, are we live?
We're live.
Oh, here we go. All right.
So we are live.
We're live. If you hadn't told us a really uptight deal we got going on here, right? We are like by the book.
Yeah, this is
super
This
produced.
is official. Ishman Road dropped Glory Hole on here
Oh,
today.
my
so
gosh.
We're good,
Oh,
dude.
my gosh.
We're having a good time.
What did he say about the glory hole?
We're talking about the lake in general.
Oh, okay.
catching fish.
But
Yeah.
there's Matt's got the maturity level of about a 12-year-old, so that's right where it went. Boom, straight downhill, just
Every
Straight there.
time. So I'm waiting for Cody Meyer here, who is our next guest, to drop the next, inappropriate comment, and I'm just going to take it. Just like a big bass you guys are catching, let it run.
I don't know. I'll come up with something, though, during my time
Perfect.
here.
Well, cool. So, again, we appreciate it. We got Cody to my right, and we got Brian as everybody's joining in. So, again, thank you so much for coming in. It just started raining.
Yeah.
You're going to be here for
he's sitting in fifth right now.
what?
Yeah,
Group B.
Group
Yep.
B fifth.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Fifth is fifth, man.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All you can do is fish against your guys, right?
That's it,
That's all
man.
it is, man. You got
You-
your day, your weather, your guys.
You have your group, 40 guys. All you have to do is make that top 20.
Definitely.
And then the weight's zero.
Yep, right.
So I mean,
doesn't
you could-
matter if you're in 20th.
Yeah, you could be, on the winning school of all. You could be on the glory hole. There you go. You
There
could.
you go.
Whoa, that
Yeah.
was. I stole Ish's line there, but
No, you did.
You could be on it, and then literally you make that top 20. You go to a different lake. The weight's zero. So I mean, you could be clueless
Right.
again.
You gotta be feeling really good right about now.
You know what? I feel good. I mean, so for me, I'm from Northern California. I came here, high expectations. I'm thinking Sturgeon Bay. I mean, because I've been up to Sturgeon Bay, to Green Bay a little bit. And I'm thinking, here we go. This is going to be
Smalley Central.
incredible. And I
Giant
get out there.
Smallies.
I get out there. I got to tell you this story. So I pull up, first day of practice. The guy goes, at the gas station, dude, what are you doing here? In a bass boat. I always get this. Are you a race car driver? Well, no, because I have a bass boat.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it goes fast, though.
yeah,
I want to go
hey,
fast.
If you see me in Walmart with the jersey, I'm probably a race car driver.
Right.
But when we're there, I pull up. The guy goes, "What are you doing here?" Well, we're fishing for bass. He goes, "Bass in Winnebago?" I said, "Yeah." Because there's bass in there. I thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble."
What did they get me into?
Yeah, I'm in trouble. So that was before practice started. And then, to be honest, after about 3/4 of the day in practice, I thought this guy's right.
Right. Right.
But thank God, the wind, it had been blown out of the east. So all that muddier water kind of blew on that western shore, switched directions. These are visual feeders. It cleared up, and the bite's been 100 times
You
better.
know how hard it is for me to sit here and not talk about the lake.
I know.
I'm
just like,
yeah.
don't say it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Wasn't it Monday that we got that hard rain here too?
Yeah, we got an inch of
And
rain.
that does
2 inches of rain, I think.
That does nobody any
High
good
winds,
either.
yeah.
I mean, we were seeing pictures of guys out there, practice day in the waves. Like you needed a walleye boat that day.
You did. And it's scary when you come to a place like this and all you see are walleye boats.
Yep.
No
Right.
bass boats. It's
Right.
like, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a secret.
But it's growing fast.
Oh, it is.
See, we used to see the bass tournaments around here go. They were 10 boats, 15 boats. Now we're getting 60.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's growing around here big
Yep.
time.
That's good. Really good.
Well, and you can see the assortment in the reel shot alone has turned into that way. I mean, we
Yeah.
used to be a huge walleye store, which we still are, but the bass assortment in here is just 10 times it's grown, and it's so good stuff. So
Yeah.
I just
Wow,
lost it.
you really
I was
you
yeah.
just killed that,
Nailed
man.
it,
Like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
just burned it down.
Try-
glory hole.
You couldn't do that again if you tried, right?
I probably could. That's how
Yeah.
good I am. So, we asked Ish some general questions. So I got some questions for you.
Okay.
So we talked about the MLF format. So can you give us a little brief background on where you got your start and everything?
Yeah. So growing up in Northern California, I was 15. I grew up watching guys like Ish. I mean, he's an old man now, but Ish and Kevin Van Dam and all these guys that I'm fishing against now, and in California, the fishing's really good, but there's just no big tournaments. But I can remember at 15 years old, my mom used to drive me to the lake, back me in the water, and pick me up at dark. No cell phone.
awesome.
You know, nowadays in the state of California, you would go to jail for child abandonment. I guarantee it.
For sure. No
But
doubt.
I fell in love with bass fishing. I fished my first tournament at 16. I won $500. I was a millionaire.
And you're hooked.
And I'm hooked. And here I am today. But with MLF, you know, I fished FLW for 10 years, FLW Tour. Loved it. Loved every second of it. I started fishing Major League Fishing in the selects a couple years ago and just loved the format. You know, I like this whole, you know, you go to a lake you don't know anything about, you know, in the selects, the cups, there's no practice. And the whole, you know, this sport is growing so much. So we got to catch, we got to release. And that's what really hooked me on this whole format.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a phenomenal thing.
What would you say to the just die-hard old school guy that says 5 biggest fish? I don't want to see anything else.
You know,
because I'm sure you guys know there's a lot of that.
there's a
going
lot of
on,
that.
right?
There's a lot of that. You know, and I get it. I mean, some guys, you're never going to change your mind. I will say I wouldn't be surprised in a year if there are some tournaments that we do that format, you know, the 5 biggest fish. But I think really too, I'll tell you what, it's harder for me to catch more than the biggest 5. The biggest 5 now, it seems like it's easy to do. Like,
Really?
like okay, let's just grab a flipping stick, a big top water, and you go try to catch the 5 biggest fish. This is hard because you constantly have to be catching.
Because there's no downtime.
There's
at
no
all.
downtime. Oh my! Look at that, Ish. Show the camera, Ish. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I
you got to ask him.
Oh,
Now.
okay.
Oh, you're
well,
gonna
I
do the
mean, it's
story.
here right now. Let's go right with it. What does this mean?
So, once upon a time,
I think this might be because you called him old.
I met
Yep,
Ish.
there it is.
I met Ish. Hey, and Ish is the GOAT. What that stands for is the greatest of all time ever to live. Yo, Ish, that is you. That's what the GOAT means. You know, I started calling.
What was that? Wow.
Until this week.
So until something. So just for the people watching, Ish is back here. He said Cody's never missed a championship ever.
Yep.
I never have. It is true, but right now I'm 30th place to take 30 for the Red Crest for Major League Fishing.
So, the pressure's on the next few
you know
days.
what? It could easily be the first time.
Him saying that is like talking about a banana in the mouth.
I know.
You know what you did, right?
It's like talking to a pitcher throwing a no-hitter.
Yeah.
You just don't do that.
You don't even face the guy. Come on.
All right.
Talks to a pitcher throwing a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Eric, where's the black marker? Here, give me the silver.
Yeah. Ish. Nice. He's a troublemaker.
We
that guy.
corrected it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Nice.
No, years
That's
ago,
impressive, though, man.
it was, man. It was something I'm very proud of. But
And
you know,
should be.
it's-
That's a big deal.
It's I've gotten lucky along the way, caught some fish. I started years ago when I was fishing FLW. Andy Morgan, a good friend of mine, we had these epic Angler of the Year battles. I always lost, but I said one time, I said, man, he is the GOAT. And someone looked at me weird and said, he's the greatest of all time.
Yep.
And, you know, now it's just kind of, I call everyone, my buddy Jordan Lee, I call Ish that. So now this is all floating around. I guess there's a lot of GOATs. I thought earlier this week in practice, to be honest, I should have been a sheep herder because all I caught was a sheephead. Man, alive.
They didn't call them that on Bagel, too. They call the sheephead the goats. Yeah.
The goats, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of big ones in here.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was funny. Who was it the other day? They weighed a rock bass, too. I was like,
we get
Just
some
for the heck
giant
of
rock
it.
bass
yeah.
in here.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, there's some big ones.
Oh, KVD even weighed a carp.
He
Just
weighed a
for
carp,
fun.
yeah.
Just for fun. Just
Snatch that crankbait, he wanted it back.
Right? That's awesome. So what you were talking about earlier about, you know, your mom dropping you off and just saying see you later and everything like that. What was your first fishing combo? Do you remember it?
Daiwa? No. You know,
Ish never missed a beat when he said that.
I know.
Yeah,
Daiwa,
he was
whatever.
good.
I was like, hey, awesome. man.
I call bullcrap a little bit.
I
on
don't know. It probably was something. I know what it was, actually. I'm sure it was an ugly stick, honestly.
Oh, yep.
Got the old ugly stick, clear tip, can't break it. But then I do remember growing up in California, Aaron Martins was like God. I should have called him the GOAT. I mean, you could not beat Aaron Martins. And he was a Daiwa guy back then. So I do remember buying some Daiwa spinning reels. But I would have to say an ugly stick for sure.
Probably an
Nice.
ugly stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, if you're on your own, you got to have something that's going to, withstand some time when you're younger. Like
That's
that.
it. I just remember growing up, you'd watch whoever, Hank Parker, Bill Dance. You'd grab a spinnerbait and go in the pond, and it was like, this is what it's all about right here. This is easy.
In the pond.
That's it.
So now you went from that. You won your first tournament at what? You said 16?
Yep.
So when did you know that you made it big? If you want to kind of say it that way.
I still haven't, but no, when I knew, so I was in the car business, so was Ish. He was a used car salesman. I was a wholesaler, so different character
funny.
there.
Where's Zach right now? Zach used to sell cars, and we have a game. Whenever he says, I used to be a used car or a car salesman, we have to drink.
You have to drink.
We have to drink. So if Cody said he used to be in the car business. So I'm going to take a sip here.
So I was in the car business. I hated every single day.
You said it again.
Yeah. And then in the car business, and that car business was so fun.
This guy's awesome.
What's he drinking? Beers? No.
It's just energy.
All right.
And then we do the show like at 7:00 p.m. and we all drink.
Zach's a big natty ice guy.
So I'll skip the question though. But in the car business, no, I really didn't like.
I'm gonna have to take a bathroom break.
Going to work, and this has always been my passion, my dream, my hobby, and it got to the point where I'm like, I think I can do this, jump all the way in and survive, not make a living, survive. And so I took a lot of chances, and I did. And, for years, that's all it was, a surviving.
Yep.
But it got me to the point where, you feel comfortable, you make the right decisions, and you can actually do this for a career. Yeah.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer. I'm not thirsty though, right now.
Yeah, car business. Yeah. And a lot of it too is just meeting the right people along the way. Like Daiwa, my boss, Kurt, I met him about 15 years ago at ICAST, just happened to like the stuff he was selling at the time, met him, built a relationship. And people ask me all the time, how do I get sponsored? It's like, you have to build relationships before you can just start asking for the moon.
Yep. It's what are you going to do for them?
And never missing a championship helps too.
Yeah.
Where's somebody knock on wood for this guy?
Man, I'm in deep trouble.
No,
I'll tell you, I this year with Major League Fishing, it was, the first 3 events I did terrible. I mean, I was losing fish, not getting bit. And so the last 5 up to this point have been really good. So I put myself in contention. Table Rock 2 weeks ago finished 3rd. And so now I'm Bubble Boy. I got the target on my back, 30th place. They take the top 30. Started off good here, but I really believe I got to make that cut tomorrow and then, finish probably around in that top 30 to make it.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yep.
So a question for a score tracker: how much pressure does score tracker add?
Score tracker
For a guy that's fished forever,
Good
right?
question.
You go out. I mean, I fished a lot of tournaments too. Never at that level on the walleye side. I used to, but. You go out there, you do your best against your fish. You come in, where did I go? But I can't imagine knowing at 7:30 I'm 15 pounds back.
Score tracker is terrifying. Terrifying. It works to your advantage at times, but for me, I'm one of those guys, if I don't have to hear it, I'm not going to ask about it. But
do they have to tell you?
They do. If you're doing really bad, they're not going to as much.
Okay,
but
it's kind of take it easy on you.
But when you have a camera in the boat, they want the drama. They want that, thing. But what's cool? So if Ish comes cruising in this area and you see him flipping or whatever he's doing.
Well, first of all, you run the risk of him pushing you in the water.
Frog to the ear or something. But you can say, hey, what's Ish have? He's got 28 pounds. And you're thinking, okay, well now in your mind you see him throwing a frog or whatever he's throwing, and maybe that's what I need to go do.
Oh.
But it can totally mess you up too.
I've never been able to follow somebody else's pattern.
Yes.
If I can't put it myself on it, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't catch your fish. Doesn't work
it's
for
too
me
hard.
personally.
And here's the thing. So when you're in a normal tournament, biggest 5, it's like I say, I feel like it's easy, but you get this game plan in your mind. I'm going to go throw this buzz bait for 3 hours, hopefully catch 2, and then go flip the rest of the day and try to catch 3 more. And so you get going, you're methodical, you're taking your time, and all of a sudden in this format, you hear someone's got 40 pounds already and you've got one bite. You're like, buzzbait's going down.
Yep.
We got to change immediately.
Yep.
And it's cool because you could see at times, like there will be slow periods, and then throughout the lake, everyone starts catching them. You're like, there's actually a science behind this.
I like watching it when the timer's getting down. Just how hard people start fishing. Like today, it was pretty awesome.
You could see, like, I don't know. Do you guys get to watch it or no?
No.
Okay.
So here's our deal.
How do they police that?
So they give a polygraph
Okay.
that is unbelievable.
3 hours long is
Yes.
what Brandon Coulter
That's
was telling
amazing.
me.
So when
I don't think a lot of people know that.
Zach had to do his today too. Zach is Barge or
Burge.
Burge,
Yeah.
Burge.
So the polygraph is something like this. This guy worked for the FBI. His main thing is
he's a
homicide.
badass.
Badass.
He's just a badass.
He's about 4 foot tall, and you look at him and you're terrified. Jason Lambert said, the guy comes up to him and he goes, "Hey, I'm Mark. Great to meet you." And he goes, "You know what, Mark? I wish I could say the same, but at a time like this, I'm not going to lie."
That's awesome.
But you know what? So this guy doesn't miss. Like if you've ever told a lie in your life, you've ever done anything, he will get it out of you.
Oof.
So the polygraph, you can't cheat, Mark. You're if you cheated, you're going to get busted. And like for me, I take pride in working hard and trying to do that. So I'm not worried about it.
Well,
But
see, and I had no idea that was that strict. You know,
Yeah.
especially about talking about the lakes and stuff. Everyone's like, don't
Yeah.
do it.
Think about some of the guys that are rooming together.
Right.
yeah, you can't do it. I know Jason Christie, Edwin Evers, they room together and they're like, "Hey, this year that's probably not because we're going to
Just
slip."
too friendly.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Well, and that was one thing that he said is observation. Brandon asked the question, is observation the same? And the guy said, no, if you happen to see something,
It's fine.
you can't unsee that ever.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but it doesn't mean like, and I thought it was cool too, is he said that if there is a secret that gets out, it gets texted to the whole
It does.
entire
Really?
group. So he would, so
You mean like a fishing secret?
Yep.
Like, hey, they're biting
So
on
like if
Sinkos?
you were to let something, he has to report it,
I'll give you this. I'll give you
and
the
then it
juice.
has to go out to everybody.
So here on Winnebago, all right. So we had, this is coming from MLF. You can catch them throwing a whopper plopper in canals. You need
This
to be
is coming straight from MLF.
Yep.
yeah. You need to be fishing shallow. Real giveaway right there.
Yeah. Didn't somebody say no to that one?
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
I like fishing for artificial reefs or smallmouth. A green pumpkin bladed jig works well. Bass are in bays. So I was like half tempted. I know it's really messed up. MLF, I'm sorry for saying this, but I was half tempted to be like, man, they are eating that Strike King 10XD in 3 feet of water. You got to reel it as fast as you can in the grass. And just see if it'd get on there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's awesome.
just see if it get on there. But
Plus, we'll sell a lot of those Strike Kings. Then,
That's-
so you.
that's it. The
10
whole
XD in 3 feet of water. That's all, man.
the whole deal behind this is to try to keep this the most competitive, purest
Well,
way of
they
fishing.
want
I
people
like that.
catching fish, right? And you
Sure.
show up to a place 130,000 acres.
Yeah.
On 2 days of practice, it's like, where do I start? Where do I
Right.
go?
Yeah.
I think that's
Holy
so
cow.
cool.
Yeah. And, so if you can't avoid those situations, you're at the gas station and someone's like, dude, they are smoking a white frog. And you don't want to be rude and be like, dude.
Right.
Which you go,
Right.
hey, sir,
Earmuffs.
I can't get information. But then you report that and it's like clearing your conscience, you
Yeah.
know. And
Well, that's kind of cool.
Well, because
though.
think if
is
you're
it
random-
anonymous then? So do you
Yeah.
know who else
No.
put it in there? It's
just anonymous.
so you send it in, and
Yeah.
it's like,
well, think about it, because if you're unfortunate enough to draw the polygraph, dude, you're busted.
You're
oh,
busted.
right, for sure. No, I get it. I think it's really cool. I just
right.
didn't know that.
Right, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Brandon was saying yesterday. And then the shallow one came up, and somebody was like, duh.
Really? And on the polygraph, they ask you, this guy, like I say, he's really good, but they ask you, what's your name? Where do you live? What states do you live in? You say all this stuff. And so you answer yes to where you live. And then after he goes, I want you to lie. And you go,
Just to
okay.
get the yeah.
And he goes, and after every question, there's a 30-second break. And he goes, but when you say no, I want you to think about your kids, your driveway, your recliner, your TV. And so he asked the question, here it comes, have you ever lived in California? And I say no. And I'm not even thinking I'm lying. And I thought about my recliner, this, that, whatever. And so after about 30 minutes of this, he goes, okay, the test will begin. You're like, test will begin?
Hasn't even started yet?
Yeah, I'm in a deep sweat and I didn't even do anything. And so then he shows you the results and okay, yeah, you passed. Here's what you had. and he shows you the answer to California, and it's it's steady, and it goes
way off the chart,
and you didn't even think you're lying.
Right.
So
well, that's good though. I mean, it's working.
Yeah. So after all this, 30 minutes of interrogation, he knows how you lie, when you tell the truth,
man.
everything about you.
Well, because everyone's got to tell. It's like poker players, right?
Yeah.
You got tells if they. And I'm sure a guy like that who's been trained, he picks up on it. Well, that's the guy you don't want to play poker with.
Right.
No.
Right. I'm just saying, has like your wife ever slid the guy a hundy and said, "Can you ask him a couple other questions for me?"
I'll give you a good story here. A little inappropriate, but
yeah,
we're on the show.
go.
Here we go. Here's my Ish's story. So, not about Ish, but my buddy and I, we went a boat, Lake Orville in California. I'm like 18 years old, and the guy goes, "You're getting a polygraph. One of you is going to take it." My buddy's like, "I'll take it." You know, he's 55, so he's 20 years older than me. So they ask him, "Have you ever lied to the authority?" "Well, of course I have." "Yes or no, sir?" "Yes." "Have you ever done something you're ashamed of?" "Well, what kind of question is that?" "Of course I have." And he goes, "Yes or no?" So he says, "Yes." And this is honest to God what they ask, because they asked 3 people this. They go, "Have you ever cheated on your wife?" And he goes,
"Oh, no."
"Which one?" The guy's stumped. He goes, "Oh, my gosh. 2. "Yeah." "Yes or no?"
Yeah.
No. But, yeah, so no, he said no, and he passed. So thank God. So now, number 1, he wouldn't have passed. But anyways, true story. Yeah.
I got a question for you. Somebody was asking. Said, ask Cody about the Mike Long controversy.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about
no,
it,
absolutely.
I have no idea what that is.
So here's the deal with Mike Long.
We didn't do a whole lot of
Tucker
homework.
Corey asked. He's in here all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you everything I know about Mike Long. I've never met the guy. Mike Long has, for years, in Southern California, which I've never fished Southern California. People go, "Man, you catch those big swim bait fish in Southern Cal." Go, I've never been down there because it's 10 hours away. California is so big. But Mike Long in California has been a legend for as long as I've been bass fishing. And you see the pictures this guy catches. I followed him on Instagram. Never spoke to the guy, but it's kind of like, dude, this dude is really good at catching giant ones. It's so hard to catch those big ones because in Southern California, for one, these lakes are so small, they're so pressured, and those big ones are so smart. So you're thinking, man, how's he doing it? Well, this video just came out of Mike Long, and when you look at the top 10 biggest bass ever caught in the world, I think he's in there 6 times.
Oh, wow.
Like, unbelievable.
I think I did see this. I never really didn't register.
And what he was doing, I don't know if he did that back then, but what the video is about is he's literally snagging big ones.
Oh, my God.
Totally a buzzkill.
That's a bummer.
I felt really bad for Mike at first, and then I watched the video when I heard about it, and I don't feel bad for him. Right. I mean, it's just we do this because we love it. I'm very upset that it's a black eye towards the sport. It's what it is. And
play the game fair.
Play the game fair, but he's probably wanted to, I don't know what he wanted to do, but it was really sad to see because you're looking at these fish, and I looked at Instagram and I saw these fish, throughout the last couple of years when I followed them, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, just giants.
Just 15-pounders, 12-pounders. And then in this video, it's all over everywhere. Bass 365, Bass East, whatever it is, or Bass Fan. You watch it, and there was a guy from like 100, 200 yards away, whatever it is, for 2 years of footage recording them. Like on the lake. How do you know where he's going? No clue. How do you know what lake he was at? No idea. But he stalked him for 2 years, going around. Oh, there's one. Big treble hook. Rip into him.
Oh.
Really bad deal.
So how does that come back to you then? Did I miss that part?
Oh, no, he
does
just...
It's just in general bass.
In general.
Yeah,
no. I
was like, how do you get a part of this then?
There was a guy named, I think it was Mike Hart years ago. He was putting weights in bellies of fish. And someone goes, man, you know that guy is from California too? I'm like,
yeah, there's only like 3 people in California.
There's like 10 million people. No, I've never met the guy.
There's not many bass fishermen.
I was definitely disturbed by the video. I thought it was terrible what this guy's been doing. Because he has literally caught some of the biggest bass in the world. Did he do it right? I don't know. I hope he did.
Well,
but
it's hard to say he did after watching that.
Wow.
After this thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
a bummer.
question: growing up in California, did you grow up throwing all the giant swim baits? Is that
Not really, believe it or not. So Southern California, that's what it's known for. Northern California, I always say this: we fish Clear Lake, the Delta, frogs, swim baits, punching grass, and then we go and we catch all these big spotted bass.
Okay.
Now, I do have a bunch of swim baits and I throw them, but being a tournament fisherman, I like to snatch on bass. I like to catch as many as I can. And those swim bait guys, they do that and they have this mentality. And there's a bunch of big swim bait fish around us, but I cannot go out there for a week or two at a time.
It's almost like musky
It's
fishing.
musky fishing.
Yeah, I'm not built like that. Like,
Right.
I want to catch fish all day long. I want to come home and have my hands smell. My wife go get in the shower and clean
Yeah.
your hands. So I've done it a little bit, but not really.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
curious.
Fair
I was
question.
my question was going to lead into if I was hoping he'd be like, yeah, I throw all these great things. So I was going to ask him, how did you transition into this northern finesse type fishing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, what
from,
type of
from that kind of world.
Yeah. Well, it didn't go where I wanted.
Well, so yeah. I mean,
Well, and the reason, if I'm not mistaken,
pick up a Ned rig versus right. It's like,
Right.
what am I doing?
well, Brent was in here yesterday, and he was saying there's some lakes out there that they stock trout in religiously. They
Yes.
used to, and that's why those big swim baits came to fruition out there. But
Yeah.
he said the DNR or whatever out there has been slowly not doing
Slowly,
it as
yeah,
much.
yeah.
So then they
Well,
don't
makes
throw
sense.
as many of the big swim baits.
Now, Clear Lake in California has got this bait fish called a hitch, only native to there. And Clear Lake is fun with the swim bait because those hitch, use the same migration patterns and it's pretty easy. But, with the whole swim bait thing, like I say, I've done it. Those lakes in Southern California, those bass, literally when they stock them, Brent will say this, they'll back that thing down. You can hear the thing beeping all the way down. And as soon as they drop those fish out of that tube, bass are smoking them.
What?
Unbelievable. And now my little lake I grew up on, it's a private lake, all largemouth. We just raised enough to stock trout. And the way we sold this thing to the community is, hey, these are going to be great for kids. I mean, we could have a trout derby.
Right.
Now, they didn't know bass members were on the board pushing for this thing and doing fundraisers, which it was for good cause. But there's no more trout in there. We stocked 5,000 pounds last fall. Everyone's eating.
Holy man.
Because once they get a taste of trout, it's all over but the shout. I mean, that's all they eat. That's all they
Well, do you
want to
blame
eat.
them?
Yeah, no. And so it's unbelievable. And like we have some great big spotted bass. That's what we eat, trout and kokanee, and that's how they grow to be so big. So they're the same bass everywhere. Yeah, it's just that kokanee salmon or that trout is what makes them ginormous.
Crazy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome.
Well, cool, man. We're going to let you get back out there and go sign some autographs
Yeah.
and shake hands and kiss babies and all
Hey,
that kind
so
of stuff.
we'll just do.
Yeah.
So the next one.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
He already sees it.
Yeah.
Hey, before
He
you
already
take
sees
off,
it.
you mind signing
Absolutely,
my
man.
executive travel?
I like this bag, man.
Dude, that combination in there, that travel rod reel is money.
I've never thrown it, but I'll tell you what, this stuff has changed my life forever in a positive way. Truly mean that.
That's awesome.
It is awesome stuff.
Well, thank you so much.
Excellent.
Again, it's
Yeah.
Cody, and we're going to grab the
Pleasure.
next guy.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you
man.
guys. Yeah.
Might want to lose the headset.
Yeah.
I was going to say, don't walk away with that.
All right, I'm going to go grab somebody new.